Hello, everybody. How's it going tonight?
Bad.
I got a story to tell everyone here. I entitled Bojangles, Schmitty, and Colonel Sanders, Oh My. The old Coleman was packed with ice and meat and all the goodies for a typical short camping trip that we were going to partake on for over that weekend. My friend Adam Merwin and I were loading up the back of his dad's square body Silverado, pewter in color, sun glistening off the hood, a working man's dream. We had strict orders to have all the gear packed and ready for this next mountain bike competition. The list was checked and we were glistening with excitement and joy on what the weekend would bring. Finally, we see his dad, Big Dan. Big Dan coming up the road, pair of red cap work pants, and his favorite shirt, red Hawaiian flower print. I yell out, Big Dan, we ready, big boy? And Big Dan yells back, got all the stuff done? I said, yeah. He goes, you best do or I see to it. Luckily for us, he approved. Adam's mother arrived shortly after, and three clicks from the door and down the road we went. We were to make a pit stop in Appleton for the night. By morning, Highcliff State Park, a perfect destination for us two freshly out of high school age kids looking for adventure and mystery. Big Dan put that pedal to the metal, and a few hours later, that truck roared into the parking lot of Hampton Inn, a working class hotel. Had everything we needed to meet our needs. His mom put on an old Elvis movie and his dad sat on the can. Me and Adam decided we want to go out and explore, and it felt like a perfect time to take a quick swim. And hell, they had a adjoining hot tub in that room. The smell of chlorine and steam, we racked up those laps, waiting on women to come in. You know how they like hot tubs.
Okay with that.
A couple of teenage boys, well, I'm 18 years old and Adam's only 17 for his credit. I decided to turn the bubbles on in the hot tub and leave a welcoming floater to anyone who cares to take a dip. Off to the bathroom to finish off my unpleasantries. I come back to my friend biting his lip and smirking. In the pool lay a stranger. The floater's going around his chest hair. I yell out, Adam, let's leave. I need to go to Walmart and grab a few things. And their stars are out. It was a beautiful night. Cool Wisconsin breeze blowing across that parking lot. I kick a bottle of Budweiser somebody must have thrown in their car and make a 50-yard field goal on that son of a gun. And out of nowhere, a mall security cop comes blaring out of blue, golf cart squealing tires, a megaphone telling us to stop and wait. We make it to the IHOP's parking lot, a perfect place to sit on the curb. Just waiting to get the scoop. It's blackout, and the lights are out. The only lights are on street lights and the local businesses. The security guard asked us what we are doing out, that there's a curfew in Appleton for anyone that's not an adult. We argue and say that we're 18. It was true for me. It was wrong for Adam. He was only 17. Of course, I didn't have my ID, so I can't prove nothing, but beyond the case, we argue and lie. But our savior came out of the IHOP's. Highly intoxicated man exits, yelling obscenities at Paul Blart himself. Security guard decides to chase the drunk, and it looked like a game of tag as they're running around and around the IHOP. Me and Adam will screw it, right? We head on our way back to the hotel. We go. Morning hits, and we arrive at the state park. In about 20 minutes, we have the tent steak coolers out, and we're ready for the day. Adam's uncle Gary and family arrived to join in festivities. A very brash, slick-haired Canadian man, resembles Bret Hart in nature. A WWF wrestler, that's who Bret Hart is. Slightly greasier hair and a personality of a teenage boy. His mom makes us some pudgy pies over the campfire and a few s'mores, and we are ready for that night. Camp rules state no wandering off the site after 9. The moon is out and the breeze, oh boy. That's the ticket. But a guy like Adam and I, oh no, we ain't sitting around there doing nothing. We decided to take a hike and go explore the Indian embassies and the Indian burial sites and see what else they have to offer. About 500 yards off the campsite lays the trail. A nice sandy, well-groomed trail we ascend. About an hour and a half later, we make our way to the camp park. We find a 20-foot slide and a park grill. What fun and dark. After my hot tub adventure, why not have another bad ending, this time at the top of a slide from me and Adam, well, over the park grill. Community bathrooms to clean up and a bunch of immature laughter to follow. It's time to head back to camp. Well, shoot, there it is. The cherries and berries explode in that night sky. I jump over the guardrail and lay in the ditch. Adam climbs up a pine tree, trying to hide from the lights. Spotlights hit and boom, they got us. Out of that ranger climbs the old park ranger, a guy we named Old Colonel Sanders. Firm and unbending, he goes, "You two are in direct violation of my park's rules, and that's a big no." We get ushered back to the site park, or our campsite, rules and pamphlets in hand. Morning arose, there was a dew on the grass. The sun was bright. What a wonderful time for a hike. We head down the trails talking about hunting, we're talking about women in yoga pants, and we're talking about the night before. We come across a bee nest in the ground and get some sticks to shove down that hole. The excitement of the bees flying and circling around was all about too much, so we proceeded. Hikers all over, but out in the thick stood two doe. Yeah, what a sight for us two to see. We decided to chase them deer, and the deer go running, not making a noise. We didn't know there was a cliff. The deers went and jumped over. Now that we found this nice cliff, we decided to start chucking anything we can over it and kicking rocks and stuff until we hear some guy yell, "Oh shit!" Oh, what did we do? There was guys mountain climbing up that cliff. So we go running away, chuckling and giggling to our safety. A short time later, there he was, old Colonel. This time we got a ride in his wagon free of charge. Back to the campsite we go. Unbeknownst to us, we had worked a tree with a handsaw and hit a couple of rock climbers to the breeze on their ascent. Sanders has a talk of Big Dan himself, and we stay handcuffed to that site picnic table. The last straw is what he said. One more time and off we go. Gary Adams' uncle we call Schmitty. Don't ask us why, he gets under his skin. We all decided Big Danny's a nickname too to fit in. So we think and think and think, and we get the perfect nickname for him. Hideously deranged Bojangles is the key. He doesn't argue it because he knows it's a good fit. We get challenged to a football game, and two young men in our primes versus the baby boomer and the Canuck. What could go wrong? We're ready to put the whooping down on those fools. Those old dogs, though, man, they pulled out all the rabbits. They won 56-0. I blame it all on the funny faces with each catch Bojangles made. He got the Mad Hatter's face, and wild noises made it impossible to stop. The big old Canadian too. Don't get him wrong. He was a big old hockey player, and he had toughness and grit to contend. Adam's mom called it yelling. We all knew what that meant. Pudgy piles and s'mores to our delight. Night again descended upon us, and Big Dan, or should I say Hideous Lady Bingles, was getting his rest because he had that big mountain bike race the next day. Us two laughing and joking about the adventures we're having. Out comes his hand. All we hear is a zip. And the next thing you know, flip, flap. Adam got smacked right across the head. "Obey me, damn it," was his exact words, and we knew that our fun was not to be had no more. That is one thing we still revisit. There's more to this story, but time doesn't allow. Maybe next time I can give you the rest. I don't condone any of the immature behavior we partaked on, but it is something that shaped us all. I hope you guys enjoyed my speech.
It's bad. It's bad.
Now I'm good.